Nomura says that even when excluding the airship, there are more problems to think about involving the world map in the third game than Rebirth. For example, the weapons would move around the world map in the original Final Fantasy VII, and they have to think about how they handle that. The interview mentions going to the bottom of sea and into space as well, and Nomura says that regardless, they are all things that they will have to do, and he believes in the staff that made Rebirth. Oh man, these are things that they have to do! Scale, size, and the scope of Part 3. Could this be the biggest Final Fantasy ever made if you really think about it? Is this going to be it? I'm joined with the Dragoon King.
I haven't done that since last year.
Oh, we're the dads. We're the dads. You don't do that.
Oh, my bad.
Then we have
take it away.
the Excalibro.
Good to be back.
Mm-hmm.
I would make a joke about how long it's been since I've seen you, but Lee got that covered.
And then we are joined, that's right, this is an open door Hypecast to our party members at the Bringers of Hype tier. And we have two Bringers of Hype right now on this Hypecast. Spartan!
What's up, everyone? You know, it's been like a whole minute since I heard someone talk about since last year.
And then we have, you know what, I'm gonna call Alex, I'm gonna call you the producer of this episode, because let me tell you how many times you super chatted, you wanted this topic, you commented over in the Discord, you want this topic, and I'm like, Alex, I'm sorry, man, we got the Game Awards, we got so many things, like the news dropping, I can't stop Hypaguchi from talking, I gotta cover that. Well, eventually we're gonna talk about it, and tonight's the night. What's up, Alex?
Hey, I said I'd wait for it. I'm a patient man, so.
And you did. You waited, and it's here, because this is going to be a super fun one. We're talking about the scale of Part 3, right? Just how big is this game going to be, you know? And there's a lot of, I got some more quotes to bring up here from some interviews. And as you can see in the top left of your screen, I also have the world map, all right? I love my world map.
You also have a hidden stream. Watch stream.
This stream has been hidden, all right? And there's no way to get rid of that. I don't know how.
That's why I started laughing, because there you go. Oh, and on the top left, we have hidden stream.
It's a hidden stream. You can't see what's that. That's behind a paywall. If you were Bringer Height, no, I'm just kidding.
You can't see that, Lee? What do you mean?
You can't see that?
Oh, there you go.
So, you can see that world map. I love my world maps. And you best believe that once we start getting some news going on, I'm going to make more world map videos. And this is kind of, in a way, pseudo world map video. Right? So I'm going to go back and revisit a world map video that I did with Excalibro, a couple months and months ago. So maybe you're new. Maybe you haven't seen it before, so I can give you a little refresher on that. It's kind of cool how I'm going to show you just how much Part 3 is going to expand what we already know from Rebirth. And in that case, it's going to be a big game. Just even if they do the same exact thing that they did in Rebirth and just add the new areas, there's no denying it's going to be a bigger game. But there's a whole lot more about it, because I'm just going to grab one. Katase does not give a date or a year. And by the way, this is coming, both of these quotes that I just said are from Frontline JP. Frontline JP Games. I believe Google translated them. So take that as you will there. But Katase does not give a date or a year. Instead, he says that he thinks that fans will have an even higher expectation following the increase in scale from Rebirth, or in Rebirth from Remake. And so they have no intentions of compromising the third game's volume. As such, they will not be tightening the schedule if it is not feasible, and mainly aim for something that will meet the fans' higher expectations. On 3 discs farther. Yeah, that's right.
3 discs.
So there's that as well. Okay,
At least 3 discs.
I've got
At least.
at least 3. I got another quote because I'm going to throw all of these out there. Here's another one. It's about, this is Hamaguchi, or otherwise known as Hypecast here on Final Fan TV. Hypecast says, this is from VGC, Video Games Chronicles. Andy Robinson wrote the article. Quote from Hypecast. It's about making sure the pacing feels right. It's not about cutting out content. It's making sure that it feels right, the speed that the story progresses feels right, and it is fairly quickly and feels like you can get through it at a reasonable pace, but it has to feel right. So that's what I mainly intended to say there. So he was referring to somebody saying that, oh, they're going to cut content. No. He said it's not about cutting content. So if it was in the original game, he's implying that it's not going to be cut. And yes, there were a few things cut from Rebirth. So I think he's implying again that those things that were missing in Rebirth, they're going to be here. And one of those things being Wutai. All right, and I'm about to make that map blow up here in a second. But Wutai, on the topic of Wutai, this is coming from at Shinra Arc. They're awesome. I think it says it was from GW. I don't know what that was. That's what's in parentheses. But Shinra Arc says, or translates this one, Nomura says that Wutai has been moved to the third part of Remake Trilogy with plans to scale it up. The main scenario for Part 3 is already finished. And this is back in 2023, by the way. Like the end of 2023. They're talking about Rebirth. They're like,
Yeah, I remember that quote too when he put it out.
yeah. So this is just to kind of give you a little bit more perspective that the main scenario for Part 3 is already finished back in there before Rebirth even came out. So that, yeah, development is rolling. And the team is currently figuring out the characters who will appear in it, blah, blah, blah. So Wutai will scale up. And there was another quote that I feel like I guess I didn't pull the right one that I wanted to bring in, was further elaborating on that, saying that they're scaling it up because if Wutai is to be believed as a threat to Shinra that can step up to Shinra, they have to be more than just a little quaint town. You know, they gotta have a large military, so they gotta have a military focus. So I'm imagining Fort Tamlin coming into play, like from Crisis Core.
Right.
You're gonna make Wutai not just a town, but it's gotta be a massive city that can kind of scale equivalently to Midgar. And I mean, if you look at the world map here, I mean, Midgar is massive on this is like the 2 scale world map. And we'll get into that in a bit, but this takes up quite a bit of the continent is Midgar, and then you got to think Wutai being over here and everything. It's got to take up its own continent. So yeah, Wutai is going to be more than just mountains and a little town. It'll be a big one. So, anyways, I threw out these quotes because these quotes hyped me up. I got hype. This is a Hypecast. We're back for 2026. It's good to be back. So I want to throw this over to the Excalibro. Excalibro, your thoughts as we after what I just said, man. What are your thoughts on this?
Man, so let me just recalibrate here. Okay. So we're talking about.
I was trying to swallow my water. I couldn't get the water down my esophagus fast enough.
Man, you.
Me Excalibur, yes. So, okay. So the implication here is this could be the biggest Final Fantasy game ever made, right? Like Rebirth already was pushing it. There's a whole bunch of different things that big can mean. So if we define all the axes that could be how we measure this, right? So you have not just geographic size, but you have content density, you have narrative scope, right? You have mechanical or systems, right? So we're talking about flying the Highwind. We know this is a thing. We're talking about going underwater. We know this is a thing. We're going to have at least 3 levels.
At least.
At least 3 on which we can traverse this world that we did not previously have. We also know that the story is going to take us back to locations we've already seen in Rebirth. So we have to have access at various points, if not full access at a certain point later, to these areas we've seen. Then, like you said, we have Wutai. We have a big list, buddy. We have a big list of things that we haven't seen. The northern continent, right, has so many different things, but we've got Rocket Town, okay? Wutai, obviously, entire continent, not just a town. Midgar, okay? Own Village, maybe. Materia Caves, Lucretia's Caves.
Here we go.
We've got...
Watch this. Let me help you out. Let me help you out.
Fort Condor. Yeah, see what I'm saying?
Let's fill out that map.
And all of that.
The ancient forest.
The ancient forest. Let's go. So, and this is all before we consider underwater zones, any sort of aerial zone, any sort of Shinra infrastructure in the sky or in the water, right? Weapon related destruction zones, right? This is just me projecting like we got to have some room for these big fights. So I see a lot of opportunity. So when you say big, I see like them taking all of these different directions out, right? They're talking about, they're not cutting narrative scope, but they're working on pacing. That means they're trying to get everything so that it feels like it's happening at the right rate as it's expanding. And at a certain point, I feel they take the reins off and they just let you go. And at that point, you go wherever you want to go. You remember that feeling in the OG where you got free reign for the first time?
Yeah.
I think we're going to have that moment. And I think the pacing is going to be very carefully controlled up to that point. But I think there comes a point where they give it to us. And I have a whole bunch of different thoughts about how that could happen, but we need to talk more map before I jump into that. So let's get some early thoughts from Lee on this.
Well, you know, there's a saying. It's not about how big it is, it's how you use it.
Thank
and
you.
I feel
Thank you. You hear that?
Give me both. Give me both.
But here's the thing. I feel like what's got me most interested here. So we're talking about, you know, all these regions that we're gonna explore. And I'm just trying to figure out, we're talking about pacing. How the hell are they going to do this in a way where we don't just, because I don't think we're getting it all this too early in the game. And maybe this is a discussion for another Hypecast. It's like, when do we get, you know, these places, and when are they going to show up? But as far as I'm concerned, I'm looking at, you know, Dan's wonderful map here.
Thank
Dan,
you.
you did a great job.
Yeah, this is the beginning. I got some more to expand out on it, but go ahead. Thank you.
Yeah, that's a handsome map, bro.
Thank you.
Dude, it doesn't sound weird because it's obviously, you know, it's the Final Fantasy VII map, but this conversation reminds me a lot of like playing 14 and how the map scaling in that works. Think about Wutai as like, Kugane. When
Watch
you
this.
travel across.
Let me show you something. Watch this. Ready for this? Let me show you something. This.
I'm ready.
So you're talking about, this is the to scale map. Like this is the map that comes up when you push the start button and you get the map, right? And on that map you have regions. So these are all your regions. Now I've added in Rocket Town region. I've added in the Icicle Inn region, Wutai region, Midgar region. So I've added these in. We're probably gonna have an underwater region and a skies region. So throwing that in there.
Interesting you made Rocket Town. I just assumed it was like gonna extend more of Nabil.
Yeah, I mean, like, I guess you could in a way, but I feel like that's it. It's so, you know, differentiates itself enough.
Nabil 2.
Yeah, Nabil 2. North Nabil. North Nibble. So there it is. So yeah, I got Rocket Town region in there and everything. So like all of these new regions added already make this game two times bigger, maybe even more than that. I don't know. Like it feels like it's like double.
Yeah,
it feels like it's double. And then you have so this is how this actually works. So this is the explorable regions on this world map. So like this is the grasslands. So when I go here to explorable on the world map, and I go like this, see how it lines up? That's actually your grasslands area. It's not taking it. It's not actually taking it and cramming it in. It's not actually making it really small. It's really just saying, hey, here's what you're exploring, and then when you go down this way, this is what you're exploring. So when I do this again, you can see that's what you're getting.
This makes the mine seem extra long.
Right. Yeah, it does really. You're in that mines for a while, dude. and then when you go like this, you can actually see it on a larger scale here. This is all of them kind of like, yep, everything lines up. That is what you're actually exploring on the big world map. And then of course, what they do is they cram it together and give you the world map. So you see this is your world map. This is the explorable world map. This is what you're actually, and I can get rid of that to kind of make that a little clearer. This is what you're playing in the game. So it's still very big, still a very large map, but as you can see, they are cramming these locations together to give you a world map that you should be able to fly around in part 3. The question being, though, I have to pitch this question after I'm done. We can talk about it in a minute, but like, will they take what we know in Rebirth and make that even larger? That's the question, because the Highwind does not fit. And I'll bring up a picture. Please remind me. I took a picture because I broke the camera, moved the Highwind, and I set it down in the Junon region. It's laughable. It's very laughable. The freaking Highwind takes up pretty much this entire little peninsula. You know what I mean? Like it's taking up most of that. So yeah, I mean, it's something they have to kind of work around. And even I believe Nomura himself was talking about, like, that's our biggest challenge right now. How do we get the Highwind to make sense on the world map? We're going to have to figure that out. And he's like, basically just said, I trust the Rebirth team. My hands are done. My hands are clean. I ain't working on it. So,
that's a programmer problem.
Exactly.
That's a developer issue.
Thankfully, Hamaguchi was an engineer, right? Like, he's a game engineer. He knows how to do this stuff, right? So he's the director, and I feel like we can trust him to kind of figure out the ins and outs on how to make this, the Highwind work. But you bring up a good point, Lee. That's the reason why I was kind of like, oh, let's get into this right away. Was you were like, how are we going to explore this thing? And it like, okay, you have the Highwind, you can fly around this, but if you if you break the camera free in Rebirth on PC, it's a big map, but it's not like, I don't know, they have to learn something. They have to figure this out, because honestly, there's no way, like, if you break the camera free, obviously I know that they didn't have the time, they didn't take the time to make that look pretty, but it's having a hard time rendering a lot of the stuff, like trying to figure all this out in the Unreal Engine.
Not to like cut you off, but like, honestly, I kind of felt that way even when I was in the Bronco. The moment the open world actually, like when you get the Meridian Ocean, I felt like the world, I don't want to say it downsized, but the fact that you can see across the ocean when you're in the Bronco, I'm not gonna lie, it kind of like dropped the scale considerably for me. Like I'll point that out. So if we're looking at the Highwind, which is much bigger than the Bronco, they really gotta and I'm sure they'll figure it out, because you were just talking about the size of this thing. Like, if the Bronco takes, I don't know offhand, I'm just gonna throw a number out there. If it takes like 3 minutes to cross the Meridian Ocean from Costa del Sol to like the Junon region or something, like if you just gun it straight, you see both continents, from each side of each other. It takes you 3 minutes. Meanwhile, when we're on the Shinra 8, it feels like we're traveling for a long time between the two. And the Bronco can like just, and I get that there's a difference between cinematic and gameplay, but if we're really gonna sell the Highwind's gameplay, this thing does have to be jacked up in scale, I feel like, because you could literally get across. Like, I feel like the Highwind almost feels like it could just like get across that in less than a minute. Which, I mean, I know it's fast, but that doesn't make for the most intriguing huge world exploration. So I feel like this thing's got to balloon out. Like they really got to mess with the scale on there, and I'm super intrigued to see how they do that.
Because like when
this was one thing Rebirth I felt. Oh, sorry. What you say, Did?
No. Oh, I'm sorry. I thought I was just jumping in on that, man. But go ahead. It was
No, jump in.
Yeah, it's just like what I think about it too. I'm the same way. If you get in the Highwind and you're zipping across the Meridian Ocean, you're going to be there in like no time. It makes me think. Well, I mean, they have two options, I guess. The one option is they have to balloon the actual map that they built in Rebirth. They have to expand out, have some landing areas, but it's like, at what point are we like, okay, I don't really, do we need to balloon this out and stuff like that? Like Junon region doesn't need to be bigger. And if then you got to populate it with some more stuff to be interested in. You think about other games out there, you're like, well, I've seen very large world maps, and it has been done, like Assassin's Creed. Like we have seen these world maps, so we kind of have an expectation. We have and then like recently, Avatar Frontier, Avatar's Frontiers of Pandora,
Frontiers, yeah,
something like that, right? That has a flyable creature. Like you can fly, and it's just like, yo. How are they doing this wizardry? Like this is crazy. So you're like, kind of Final Fantasy needs to do that as well. They need to be able to match in a way. Now with what they have currently, it's just like I don't think you can just put a Highwind on Rebirth and say, here you go, fly. I think they have to do something with it. The other option I can see happening is the Skies region is just its own region. Like so you take off in the Highwind. And now you get this scale almost. Like you're getting a freaking, as you're flying the Highwind, you're looking down, you're seeing a beautiful, like they've basically rendered out the entire world, and it's insane how beautiful it is. It's almost like flight simulator style, like you could see everything. But then when you want to go land in that region, it's going to maybe take you, like go, do some sort of clever masking of the loading screen, boom, and then now you're dropping into the Rebirth world map that you know and love. So it's like taking off in the Highwind, it expands like you're flying around an entire globe, and then when you land, you're back onto this explorable world map that I pulled up earlier. Yeah, that one there. So I saw the Wily thingy.
I was to say, I think Wiley has a point that I'm gonna jump right after him on, but go. I think we're on the same.
Yeah, so this has been sort of my thought since we had that first map conversation, is that you have to have an atmospheric zone, right? You have to have a layer where the world isn't the same as the playable, right? Like now you have a 1-to-1 scale of the world, and this is strictly for traversal. And you have different points of interest, and you drop down into the world and explore those. And so if you did something like that, if you had a separate traversal layer, then you can have convincing planetary scale, right? You can have landing zones that are curated content hubs. You can have aerial discoveries and stuff like that. But what this allows is, show us that map where you have the smaller Rebirth map superimposed over where they actually go. Not how they're connected here, but the one before.
Oh, yeah, got you. Here you go, right? I'll bring
Yeah.
Let's get this, and then explorable on map. There it is.
There you go. So now what you can do is imagine you're flying over this world right here, and you get a point of interest like right where your mouse cursor is. And now you can drop down into the plains, and there's something unique there that you couldn't get to in Rebirth because you didn't have the Highwind, right? There's ruins or there's something there
something
to
over
explore.
here.
Right,
this looks interesting.
Right.
This is a POI right here.
Dungeons.
Right.
Throwing dungeons.
Secret dungeons.
There you go. So yeah, so you have points of interest that allow you to basically break through this atmospheric layer down back into
freaking
the game layer. So
Microsoft Flight Simulator style, where you have literally the POI, like little things popping up as you're flying through the clouds. You can see, yeah.
Yeah, there's a bunch of like clever tricks that you can use to go through zones and stuff like. I mean, you could literally just cut to Sid, and then now you're landing in that zone or something like that. You know what I mean? Like a 3-second frame cut or something.
I want to bring in. Oh, I'm so sorry. I want to we got our bringers of hype. We got our bringers of hype, and I kind of want to bring you guys
gotta
into the
bring the hype
conversation.
with them.
Yeah, bring the hype, bringers of hype. Now, I want to throw this over to Alex, because Alex, you've been asking. Now, are you hype? Like, do you feel the jellies? You know what I mean? Do you feel it in your jellies? Like,
I constantly feel it in my jelly. So, uh, well, so I'm not one of those that were skeptical about them. Actually, I just wanted to put this out there. I'm not skeptical about what they were going to do with the game. I wholeheartedly believe that they were going to stay true to the OG and just expand upon it. So I definitely had no doubts about that whatsoever. When the time we got the Tiny Bronco though, and we were able to go into the Meridian Ocean, and we first discovered that we could go across it actually.
mm-hmm.
I took it a different way in the fact that I can't believe they even got this far actually. Like I was very surprised that we were even able to do that, and it gave us even more of a view of what the open world potentially could be for part 3, and that made me realize they have something already cooking in the background, and I think
Oh,
it's
yeah.
just going to blow our minds ultimately. I don't know if y'all mentioned this either, but I think another place that they're even going to have to expand on even more that we're not thinking of is when we go back to Midgar and do the underground part, like with the Proud Clone and the train and all
Mhm.
that. I feel like they're going to make that even bigger than what it was towards the end of this too in the OG. And then with Wutai as well, like I think of like the Pagoda. I think they're going to expand on her going
Mhm.
to Yuffie going to fight her father. Even I feel like they can expand on the levels they even have in the Pagoda because there was only 5 levels. I feel like they can do something even different there. For instance, I mean that's just some stuff I think of, and heck, they probably could even do something with Cactuar Island, honestly. So, um, I ultimately think this game's going to be 250 gigabytes of data at least,
I mean,
as well.
yeah, I mean,
That's
like,
crazy. I love that. I
You
love
said that,
that.
and Dan brought up his files. He's like, oh, I guess I gotta
oh
make
god,
room.
oh, what scanning.
Start
Yeah, I gotta
making
make
space.
room. Well, I guess let me see if I have that on my hard drive or my SSD or.
I mean, legit think that could be the case though. I legit think it'll at least be over 200 gigs because there's definitely well over 50 gigs of more of game at least to add on top of the 150 that was
Yeah.
in Rebirth.
That comes down to optimizing and like really just like that's on the
Yeah.
developers to get that optimized. I don't know if I mean like again, I'm not like super educated on like how the game is made, but I love like learning as much as I possibly can. But I don't think the more that you like I feel like it's all about optimization. I don't know if they're like, if they double the size of what's in part 3 that it was in Rebirth, like as far as like things to do, things to see. I don't necessarily know if that means it's going to be a bigger like file size. It's just like they kind of have to optimize and stuff like that. Which is something that like in really just Square Enix needs to kind of like to figure that out, especially when it comes to part 3. But yeah, I mean that's 250 gigs. It's not like it's really not like hard to fathom. How much is Call of Duty? Like you
Too
know,
much.
it's too much, right? Call of Duty itself is such a massive like download, so I can see it getting up there to around 200. I mean, I really could.
And I say that as somebody who could definitely be wrong because we all thought we would get part 3 news at the Game Awards, and boy, were we wrong. So
Not
I
Wiley.
mean,
Not Wiley. He told us to temper our expectations. And he said
he's got the sermon on his side.
Yeah, he does. Yeah, he's. You know, like I wanted to bring it up to 11, and he was like, "Bring your hype meter down to 9," and I was like, "No, it goes to 11 though. Go bring it to 11." And he was so. You
And
know,
I was like, why are we British now?
what?
Oh, boy. It's something called a spinal tap.
It's a spinal tap. Yes. So Spartan, what do you think, man? What are your thoughts on what we've talked about so far?
I mean, just because it's fresh in my head, I'm thinking about the game optimization part.
Hmm.
I mean, the areas in Rebirth, they really don't look very similar. It's hard to reuse a lot of assets when Cosmo Canyon looks nothing like
Northern Crater.
Gongaga looks nothing like Corel Desert and all that. I mean, there's definitely a lot of areas where they can reuse assets like Midial. They can take from the
Gongaga.
Northwood. They can take from the forests of Gongaga. They can definitely find ways to optimize asset use with these new areas. But that being said, I still wouldn't be shocked if it's like 250 gigabytes.
Yeah.
I honestly wouldn't be
It's cool.
shocked if it was more because I don't know how big the sky or the underwater
right.
sections
There's
are gonna
so much.
be.
There's underwater we're not talking about. Like everybody wants to see the Highwind, but I'm like, guys, we go underwater in this game as well. It's like it's so crazy the things that are gonna happen in this game. Like this game is gonna be so freaking massive. So like part of me thinks like, oh, when we start talking about, oh, it's 2027 release, and I'm like, man, when you really think about it though, they got so much game to cover, so much to cover in part 3. And that's why I'm like, yeah, this could be the biggest Final Fantasy, because this kind of is an entire Final Fantasy. Even though this is part 3 of a trilogy, it's like, this is a Final Fantasy game that they're about to give us. This is going to have, we're going to pick up, halfway through the story, but it's like, we're going to pick up with a full party. We're going to pick up with a full world map. We're going to have an ending to this game. Like, there's just, part 3 is about to be like one of the best Final Fantasy games ever made if they pull this off. Right? So, I like what you're saying. The size never really bothered me, you know what I mean? I try not to think about size, like too, but I don't try to get intimidated. Yeah, I don't read into that too much,
Not like it's a concern to me.
It's
I don't have a lot of stuff on my PlayStation 5, and
Right.
I have plenty of storage on my PC.
I'm gonna make room.
That's nice for you guys.
I brought up my files to check.
Yeah, you brought files midstream.
Well, I was trying to actually, because I was like, oh yeah, I'm also recording, because we recorded the pre-show for the Final fans to go back and watch, and then I just left the recording going because I was like, oh, maybe they want to watch the pre-show all the way up through. But I'm gonna have to end that one because I don't have enough file size, because I've made room for part 3, and I gotta end I stop recording. Stop the recording. There we go. So recording is stopped. All right. But so I don't mind clearing space for if it's 200 plus. That's cool. But I want to talk a little bit more about this world map. So if you don't mind,
real quick,
yeah,
real quick, we draw attention to a comment. So Ecto Gamut said that Helldivers 2 on PC reduced installation size from 154 gigs to 23 gigs thanks to support from Nix's. It's funny because I was actually looking up that number when he threw that in the chat, because I was going to bring that up. So it depends on how much optimization they do. There's a lot of bloat code that goes into games because they're trying to hit a target date. And so there's a lot of ways that things can be optimized. So let's say that for some reason it's 5 gigabytes smaller than Rebirth. That does not mean it's going to be a smaller game.
Right, exactly. That's why I was like, I don't know. File size really determines the size of size and scope. So, it's all about the optimization, man. So, thank you for that clarification, Excalibro. And we go over to this world map.
Ecto Gamut.
Ecto Gamut, yeah, thank you for that, man. 4 terabyte hard drive on the PS5, Ecto. I'm good. Did somebody say Outlast? I see you, Lee. I see you, Lee.
Sorry, I got excited. Somebody. Tool man. Wait a minute. I want to jump in on something real quick.
Yeah.
Real quick.
I'm teasing them with this world map, man.
Go back to the world map where you had the layered sections of like to actual scale of the larger map.
Absolutely, you can do that. So we'll get rid of this one and bring in this.
This is like my thought on. Okay, so you see like how we have the playable sections, and we were talking about this earlier, and then there's the playable world. I don't know how they're going to implement this, but the idea, because something that has been, I guess, tossing around in my mind is, how do we make these worlds feel familiar? And worlds meaning like each region, but also expand on it, because we're going to have more explorable area. And then I kept seeing in the chat, it's like, well, where are we going to land the Highwind? The world's so bloated, like the grassland, like try to imagine where you would land the Highwind in Junon or the grassland. And then I'm looking at all this space, and I feel like we're going to get, like we have to land the Highwind in some of this space. And I feel like we're going to get like sub-regions and maybe they're not in the full large region. So like they'll be like looking at the grasslands, right? Can you move the camera up a little closer to the grasslands?
Okay, do you want me to group them all together again, or like how it is in the
No,
game?
no,
or?
like this, perfectly like this.
Okay.
No, go back.
Okay,
Zoom out a bit.
grasslands.
There, yeah.
Right
So
there.
you see, like in the upper area here, where the grasslands is, there's more grassland around.
So
that.
much
Look
more,
at
yeah.
where the word grass, right? And so these are areas you could tap into with chocobos, or
Mountains.
you know,
Mountain
like
chocobo.
you can do things with the chocobo. And the way I see it is that it'll be a huge open world, and maybe there will be some connective tissue between them. I mean, it's funny enough, I was just talking to Wiley about this game, but like looking at Monster Hunter Wilds, the entire world is connected, but there are connecting points that are like tunnel regions or smaller regions that you need to travel through
like that, yeah.
to get to the larger world. And the larger region you're in is the playable explorable area with all the collectibles, all the monsters to hunt. But there's like, you know, paths that you can take to go from, in that game, it'd be like to get to the plains to the forest. It's through a nice travel like path that you can walk through, or you can just fast travel. Or in our game, it would be using the Highwind, and maybe have a landable or 2 landable spots for the Highwind in each area. So the grasslands that we've played in Rebirth will still be in part 3, obviously. But we expand on it by having sub-regions in each area with all this space that could be connected. It doesn't need to load the entire zone because, you know, the grasslands, for example, like there's a lot of stuff packed into just the grasslands alone.
Yeah, like
So you just make
I
smaller regions.
highlight Cliff Resort just because we're bringing in compilation locations and stuff like that, whereas Cliff Resort could be there. And I just randomly placed it here. I don't know where exactly it is, but I do
No, it's
know-
actually a little to the left.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah.
Sorry.
It's like a location that was pretty important to the On the Way to a Smile and Advent Children. So like Cliff Resort, it was called Cliff Resort, and then it gets changed to Healing Lodge. So it's like this location feels like it could be what Dragoon King is talking about, where we have a subset of like, or a sub location or sub region. We go over here to Cliff Resort. Maybe it's what Excalibur was saying, where you're flying around the world map and you see the Cliff Resort. Maybe it's because like if you zoom in here, I believe there's mountain ranges here, right? So the way they could work this in with your sub location thing is that you can't go up here, but once you have a mountain chocobo, you go up here on the Rebirth, and then you go through the dots, like the 3 dots that like you're traveling to the Cliff Resort, and now you're over in the Cliff Resort. And you can only explore the Cliff Resort because you have a mountain chocobo. Like you have a chocobo that can scale these cliffs.
And that's how the game runs the grasslands. Because now that you've traveled through that, that's a loading point. Get rid of Grasslands 1, you're in Grasslands 2.
You're in Grasslands 2. Yeah, subset 2. And and that actually makes a lot of sense. Oh, and don't forget, we're adding in the Midgar region as well, because that wasn't technically in there. So we got to go.
Right.
We got Midgar, and of course they could just say no, we're not doing a Midgar region to explore. But there's the Midgar cliff. That's
many infantry.
like I don't know if he was here, but like Zach dies on right. Like so, to see that on the world map would actually be pretty cool. Whether it's whether you're flying over it with the Highwind and you can't actually land there, but you can just kind of, or maybe you can land there. You land the Highwind, you go to the cliff where you know Cloud planted the Buster Sword and Advent Children, and you're just like, these are cool landmarks that you can go visit, right? It's maybe they throw in a secret dungeon, maybe they throw in like a photo op spot or something. Who knows? Yeah, because you know we go to Zach's.
More snaps.
Zach's, and we're just taking all right, we're taking pictures, a selfie.
So I think the way you get around needing all these giant landing strips for the Highwind to come down on is you let us jump off the ship with that gold chocobo and just glide down, you know, Fortnite style, and you just sort of you pick your spot and you drop down.
Where we dropping,
right?
boys?
Right, you got all
Wiley
these
just
points of
predicted the
interest.
next glider.
Man, you bring back you bring back First Soldier, man. I missed that game actually. They had something there, man. First Soldier. Where we dropping, boys? All right.
I don't even think you really need a chocobo for getting off the Highwind. I mean, they had
Just
parachutes in the OG.
Yep.
Yeah, and like so we're basically just saying like This is a prelude to parachuting into Midgar. You can parachute out. The Highwind itself has the ladder. So if anything,
Be a long ladder, dude.
you can a very very long ladder because the Highwind could be way up in the sky to show
Dude,
that it's not like
I'd be so
ridiculously
mad.
overscaled. And
I'd
then
be
That's how
so
they're going to go into
mad.
Midgar.
that's how they're going. Oh God, they're going to replace it with an elevator.
With
We're
a
going
ladder
to
drop.
elevator down into Midgar. There's no parachute drop, no spiral
Dude.
stairs. We're just
Imagine trying to get back onto the Highwind and you got to take this like unfathomably long rope ladder up. It's swinging in the friggin' wind. Oh, dude, I'd be so pissed. I'd be so mad.
It's a Shinra
we got the-
stairs, but
You
ladder
wanted
edition.
this. Here's
we
your
got the
Highwind.
greatest airship known to man, but you couldn't find a better means to get up onto it. Oh, I'd be
They
so
could get
mad,
beamed
dude.
up, I guess. Beam me up, Sid.
Oh yeah,
Beam me
yeah.
up.
Suddenly we're in Star
Teleport
Trek.
materia. I mean, come on. We can make it work in lore. But I still like the ladder. You gotta have the ladder. You gotta have the ladder come down. But like once you like return to Highwind or whatever, boom boom, you just climb the ladder and get back on the Highwind. But yeah, like so
As they pull it up.
there's that. I don't think they're gonna actually have you land the Highwind unless, again, if these subset locations that are like massive.
That's what I'm banking on.
Yeah, like they're massive, and like there's only a little bit of small explorable area, but you can look out and see just this massive world map that they've done specifically for the airship, right? So
Yeah.
it does throw in some like dilemma, like hurdles and whatever that they got to get over, where it's like, well, if you're going to give me a fully realized map, well, if I fly over Midgar, that thing's got to be a full-on city. Like you got to give me the entire city,
Yeah.
which is like
Yep.
it's possible, but you could also get around that by saying there's a no-fly zone. But then again, you're going to parachute in the mid. You're going to parachute in the Midgar, so you got to fly over. I don't know, man.
I like the idea. I like the idea that these eco-terrorists care about a no-fly zone.
no-fly zone. No-fly zone. No-fly zone.
We can't go over
I mean,
there.
hey, well,
guys, the law.
You're
The
flying.
law. We
You're
need to
flying
follow.
a stolen Shinra airship. All right, it's going to get shot down. You can't.
But we follow the law.
Right, you're gonna follow the law, right? And then like over in Wutai, they're gonna shoot it down because you're flying in a Shinra airship. So no fly zones over here. We're gonna avoid those until the story allows us to go there, right? That we've talked about this in previous ones, but that's like you asked the question earlier in the show, but talked about it a little bit in the previous episodes where I'm like, yeah, I think they're gonna restrict us from going back to Midgar or going to Wutai before we're ready. It's like we'll get the Highwind, but we're not going to Wutai yet because they're gonna be like, yo, I don't think Wutai would like a Shinra, craft flying over there when they're in wartime. So things like that they can kind of work out to still gate the open world, but still make it like give you that freedom, but still kind of keep you on the path. So I put a couple other locations on here to where it's like, yeah, sure, some of the compilation locations won't be there. Maybe they won't, maybe they will, who knows. But you got Lucretia's Cave. That's got to be there, right? So Lucretia's Cave is accessed by the submarine. So there's the locations that maybe the submarine pops up onto the world map that they created for the Highwind. So you're just popping up on this. This is your submarine and Highwind world map. So they're gonna have a couple different like world maps that you're exploring on. But anyways, you pop up at Lucretia's Cave. You have Fort Tamblin, which is a location. Are they gonna bring in the Redore underwater caverns because of Ever Crisis? Are they gonna do that? Maybe. Modeoheim is super important. At least what's left of it, like what we see in OG, or not in the OG. What we see in Crisis Core. Are we going to see some sort of like? This is where Modeoheim is, like this is, because it's kind of important. And speaking of like that, Bonora's got to be there. We already seen Bonora Juice posters, so like they've already established that it's there. I moved Bone Village down south. All right, you know what I'm saying, baby. We're going down south for Bone Village. Okay, so I got it down
doesn't
there.
get better every time.
It gets
It does not.
it returned.
It gets worse. It gets worse.
I moved Bone Village down south. Oh man, that's my.
I have a
never-
question
you
for you,
did.
Dan.
What's up, man? Yes, that is what I tell my wife. Who wants to go down to
That was
Bow
not my
Village?
question.
Oh, what's up, man?
So, all right. So, in Crisis Core Reunion, right?
Mhm.
We go beneath Benora and we see a weapon. Do you think we're going to get to see some of these weapons in some of their earlier states at
Dude.
different points, or do we think we're gonna see, you know, hibernating weapons that maybe we don't fight? Do you think they're gonna, you know, give us some little extra?
There's so many different like mistranslations of that I don't know what's true and what's not true, but according to whatever I remember reading last, it might have been the Ultimania saying that is not, that in fact not Emerald Weapon down there. so like, but there are there's a weapon looks a whole lot like Emerald Weapon in Crisis Core, but is it going to show up? I hope so, dude. And like I read earlier from that quote from Nomura, where he's like, weapons would move around the world map in the original Final Fantasy VII, and they have to think about how to handle that. And then he's like, regardless, these are all things that they have to do. Like Nomura was like, they will have to do. Of course, translations could be mistranslation. It could just be like, you know, these are things that they have to take into consideration, blah, blah, blah. But he's, according to, you know, like if I'm reading it from the translation, these are things that they have to do. And he believes that the staff will get it done. So, like, you know, when you think of it like that, yeah, I just feel like weapons coming out. And if you're going to have these gigantic kaiju weapons on the world map, I feel like this is starting to become more and more convincing that the airship is going to get its own world map, because, or like the airship yeah, because go to Rebirth if you have it on PC, break the camera free, look at it, and you're just like, oh man, Sapphire Weapon has to fit in the Meridian Ocean. like Sapphire Weapon has to emerge from this ocean, and it's not going to look the way that it should look.
Yeah,
you know,
it would literally touch both
all the way across.
Yeah, I was gonna say he would touch both Costa del Sol and Junon.
It's gonna
like once just emerge and
Weapon. Do y'all think Sapphire Weapon could even turn into a battle?
Yes,
actually, instead of it just dying like it did.
Well, okay, maybe not Sapphire Weapon, because all right. So I will say with Sapphire Weapon, they do like to introduce, like, if any excuse they have to make an action set piece, they're like for you to battle. I feel like they're gonna do it. But I mean, they also, like I said, they have a lot of stuff to do in this game. So adding a Sapphire Weapon battle is just adding some more things to something that's already filled to the brim. But most importantly, at least to me, the Sapphire Weapon CG cutscene or whatever render thing, that is one of the coolest cutscenes in the entire game. You can't change that. Don't change that. Like I want to see that in Rebirth or in Part 3 so bad. And we're gonna do a Hypecast on like the cinematics that we want to see the most. But this has got to be on there, man. Like this is to see that in the scale and the oh man. So I don't think necessarily you see Sapphire Weapon on the world map. I think that's going to be reserved for a really awesome, like, rendered cutscene, fully rendered cutscene. But like, I can see that being the case for Sapphire. But when you talk about Ultimate Weapon out there, you got Emerald Weapon under the sea, and you got
Diamond just walking up on the beach.
Diamond, yeah, dude, you're right. Diamond comes up on the beach right here, right? So like, imagine this is where Diamond is. This is on the like to scale world map. Like he's gonna show up here. But if you're looking at this, well, not that I guess, because you have to kind of, let me bring it in. Let me bring this in real quick, okay? So this is my. Let's do this. We're doing something crazy, guys. You ready for this?
Ready for boy.
This? Here we go. Boom. All right, now I've kind of taken some liberty here, and I've filled out what I think could be the full world map for Part 3. So if you're looking at, and I'll bring it full screen so you guys can see. If you're taking the Rebirth world map, and you're putting it in, like, we're just expanding the Rebirth explorable map, and we're putting in the new regions. And I'll add those new regions. I think I have the new regions. Locations. There's locations at least. But anyways, if you're gonna have Diamond Weapon like just show up here, I mean, it could work. It could work. But if you look at it in Rebirth, like man, that it's got to take up most of the ocean. Like, it's going to take up most of the ocean. You know what I mean? Like, if you're sailing on your tiny Bronco, but like, man, that's going to take up most of this. I'm so curious of how they handle the weapons. I'm so curious, man. And if you're going to have Ultima Weapon flying around this place, they even had like a clever masking of like fog over in the Meridian Ocean. It's like, are they going to do that again with the Highwind? Like, how are we doing this? It almost feels like they have the assets, they have the work that was done in Rebirth, but they're going to have to revamp it. It almost feels like they have to revamp it, unless, of course, like we were talking about, a separate world map. Anyways, if this is the explorable map, this is the areas that I feel like they're going to add on to. Where I filled this in just because simply, if you break the camera free, and I think the world map actually continues on like this, and I don't think Rocket Town is up here, but it could be. It could actually be there, but that makes it even smaller. And if you look at it, if you're going all the way up the Meridian Ocean, I feel like Rocket Town has to be up here, up north a little bit more. So I put Rocket Town up here. And then you go up here even further, and you gotta have Icicle Inn, you gotta have the snowboard, you gotta have all of the caves and stuff like that. You got Wutai over here. The whole continent has to touch at least come down here to Nibelheim, and then go all the way up and almost touch the northern continent, because that's what it looks like on the map, on the actual world map. And that makes Wutai almost as big as from Midgar to Grasslands. Like, it is a huge, but that's like,
yeah, but that sells it, in my opinion.
It really sells it, yeah. And I mean, a lot of this
like,
is
it should be big.
Yeah, and then we talk about our secret dungeons. Instead of just a cave where you walk in and find the materia, make it a full-blown dungeon, right? So you have your mine materia, all your materia caves that are scattered. I put the Forbidden Land from Ever Crisis and stuff like that, but
what about the Sunken Gelnuka? Do you think they could even make that like a mini cave somewhat, even if it's a plane?
That's like it, because that was a secret dungeon in OG. Do you have to visit the Sunken Gelnuka?
No, I don't.
No, but you want to get like Yuffie's the ultimate weapon, for instance,
right?
80s materia.
80s materia.
So you have a secret dungeon when you're underwater.
The double cut materia too.
Yeah,
which don't really matter now.
See, that's the cool thing, because we're at wartime. That's why they set this up. I feel like that's why they set up wartime as about to erupt in part 3, because now it gives you an excuse to have Shinra military underwater, right? So like Shinra military has got their subs, they're patrolling the oceans or whatever, and then that gives you an excuse to have submarine battles underwater while you're exploring. Like, there's things to do while you're exploring the underwater location, the region. And then you have secret dungeons like the Gelnica. Like, finding that is going to be really fun. Like, to like, oh wow, what's that? And you go down there and you can actually,
or even for the key to the ancients.
Yes.
Maybe that could even be some sort of cave.
Absolutely. Yeah, I mean, like, I can absolutely see them making the underwater, and we're not even like, so now you're talking about underwater region, which means the scale has to go up even further, because yeah, in the OG it was cool to go underwater, but there wasn't really much to do underwater. Like, like, it was maybe 3 things. So you had Emerald Weapon, the Gelnica, and go find the key, right? Oh, Lucretia's cave. So maybe
Emerald's gonna look terrifying underwater, and
Dude,
I can't wait.
Right? And like,
I want some phasmophobia.
I want like
not phasmophobia. Subnautica.
Did you love when Emerald was
Subnautica.
outside the Gelnica?
Oh, why is it
and you had to go
phasmophobia?
up?
Do you think?
Oh,
you're
I think
gonna
of thalassophobia.
We're just going all over the phobias, man.
Thalassophobia. Yeah, it's not every phobia.
All the phobias. Yeah, but like, so I made a video. Again, if you guys want to check it out, it's the underwater in part 3. But like, I made a whole video about how underwater could be expanded upon, how they have different things. In that video, I talk about hints from Rebirth, where they were talking about the floating where Junon. Yeah. Junon used to be a flotilla, and it got sunk, and that means, hey, it should be at the bottom of the ocean. When you got your submarine, you should be able to go down there. And then he even talks about in Rebirth how it was like full of treasure. So like, going down there would be awesome. Like, to see that at the bottom of the ocean. So they're filling out the ocean, I think, with these new things. So, man, you talk about the ocean and how you have submarine battles. You talk about how there's new locations, like the flotilla, sunken flotilla. You have the Gelnica, all this other stuff. And then you go up and you go into the skies. And again, wartime means that we can have flying Gelnicas. You can have like other military, those jets that we saw in Junon in Rebirth. We saw the jets. They're ready to take off. They look like they're going to be fun to contend with in the Highwind, you know what I mean? And we know the Highwind is armed because of Sid's limit break. So like it's got
because of Sid's Highwind.
Sid's Highwind limit break. Yeah. I made it work. I turned it around. I found the way to connect it. But yeah, so yeah, going to the skies, underwater, we're blowing this thing up. And this is beyond what I'm saying here could be an explorable world map that kind of scales appropriately to what we got before, right? So Rocket Town is bigger than what we got with the grasslands, but it's reasonable, I guess. I mean, of course it can be crunched in a little bit more. Wutai is massive, but it's the same as walking from, well, gosh, man, we didn't even get to explore this in Rebirth, so I don't know, man. Like, it just feels like they have to do something with the world map. Like, I don't know if we're able to reuse the world map from Rebirth when we expand this out. But even if we do, you can see how this gets insane, especially with what they did with the Meridian Ocean. And that's the reason why I made this so elongated, tall, right? Like it's because the Meridian Ocean goes all the way up here, which means you got to have something up here. And it looks like if you look this way, there are mountainous region, like, area over here, which is like, oh, okay, cool. That's probably Rocket Town or something. But anyways, with all that said, we're going a little bit long on this. And don't forget, you got the Knights of the Round over here, which makes me think, God, I mean, how's the gold chocobo gonna work, boys? If you're gonna have like the gold chocobo has to I like what we came up with though. Lee, you said the sub regions. I think sub regions work really good to like kind of like mask, but then we have to have, even if you have the sub regions, you have to have a world map that is fully realized, almost Flight Simulator style for the Highwind. Of course, it's not going to take as long as it does in Flight Simulator to get there, but it's got to be big. It's got to make the Highwind feel like you're flying the world. You know, you're really getting that feel. I am so excited to find out how they make this work. I think the first trailer is probably going to show us the Highwind in action. You know what I mean?
Got it.
But before we go, because we have hit our hour of Hypecast hype, I hope that everybody in chat right now feels the hype. Do you guys feel the hype, chat? If you feel the hype, comment on the video. I appreciate if you want to send them out in chat as well, but comments help so much. And when Square Enix sees our comment section filled with hype and lots of exclamation marks, let me tell you, when I tell you right now that I know that they see it. Okay? That's all I got. I keep on reminding you, but I have to remind you that I know that they see it. How do you think we've been getting review codes, everybody? Because of you guys. All right? So fill up the comments section with a bunch of hype. All you have to write is hype. Maybe put some exclamation marks. Let me know how hype you are by how many exclamation marks there are.
Or tell us what you're hype about.
Yeah.
I want to know.
Perfect. And then, yes, if anything in this video got you super hyped, let us know. We would love to hear from you. Let us know if there's something that we missed, that you had an idea that you're like, yo, you didn't talk about this. And before we go, I want to give an opportunity to our bringers of hype to bring that in. Like, did we miss something today, guys? We'll start with Spartan.
So, I don't know. Just a thought I had when we were talking about the underwater. Because we mentioned, Sapphire probably not going to be fought in the normal way. Do we find its remains down in the underwater city?
Oh,
Because it's pretty much right around
Whoa.
there. It would be getting destroyed.
Nice.
And potentially, maybe if it's not fully destroyed, it becomes part of like the sub mini game if that comes back.
Okay. Well, first, okay. I'm trying to I'm bringing it back in. I'm bringing it back. I'm reining it in. Reining it in. All right. First of all, you got me really excited. You got me real hype, almost like an Ever-Ray Final Fantasy X situation. Okay, we're all like, oh god, we're gonna see him again. It's gonna be freaking zombie, Sapphire. But no, okay, I'm gonna rein it in for myself because that was super hype. I would like to see the carcass. That would be awesome. I wonder though, when they die, do they dissolve into the live stream? I don't know what happens to a weapon when it dies. You know, what happens to a weapon when it dies? Does it disappear? Does it dissolve? So, curious about that. If it doesn't, and if it's like mortally wounded at the bottom of the ocean, that's freaking cool, dude. That is freaking cool. But we already have a submarine fight with Emerald. I don't know if we want to put 2 of them down there, but I'm good with it. All right, I'm just kind of like devil's advocate
That's
right
why
now.
I was saying the mini game part where you got the weird radar thing, and I didn't
Yeah.
understand what I was doing when I played it.
Yeah, dude,
It was a confusing game.
Thinking
I
about
hope they
that,
leave
how
it
hype
as
is that gonna be?
confusing. I don't want it to be explained. I want it to feel like we're operating a sub and have no idea what we're doing.
I also want the Highwind to ram into the diamond weapon every time, and it keeps
Oh,
on
yeah.
roaring until it gets to the coast. So,
yeah, that's awesome. Oh man.
Yo, by the way, we had somebody equipped a YouTube membership. I don't know if you saw that, Dan.
Ooh, well, thank you so much for that. I believe I didn't change that. I think that's a subscription, but if you subscribed as a Patreon supporter as a party membership, thank you so much for that as well. We don't however you want to support Final Fantasy TV, we greatly appreciate it. Like if you just want to hit the subscribe button, that helps us out tremendously. Going into 2026, let me tell you, is going to be a massive year for Final Fantasy TV, and we could use your support. So like even just subscriber count looks great. We're going to be expanding this out to as many socials as we can. I know right now I've been just kind of keeping up with like Twitter and YouTube, and that's kind of basically it when it comes to that and the Discord. But we're going to try and reach as many of you guys as we can where you are. So maybe we'll go back on Twitch. Maybe we try TikTok. Maybe we try that out. Maybe we go that. Either way, we want Final Fantasy TV to grow as much as it possibly can. So if you want to subscribe, that's free to do so, and it really helps us a lot. Now you have those who have gone above and beyond and went to patreon.com/FinalFanTV and have supported us over there, and that means so much. We have an entry level tier where it's just like, hey, come on in. It's called, what do we call that? The Chocobo Calvary in honor of Dragon King. The Chocobo Calvary. You come in and you support us monthly with that entry thing. Then we have Final Fans, which is probably going to change because I want to call you all the Final Fans. But the Final Fans coming in there, you'll get to any kind of exclusive content that we record. You'll get that, and we're gonna do at least one a month. And it's a lot of that. Then you have the bringers of hype that are on the show right now, talking with us, engaging with us at the bringers of hype tier. And guys, since you are here, I want to just say thank you so much for supporting in that way. It really truly means a lot, and I hope that you enjoy being on the show. And it's just I just this is you guys supporting us, and I want to give you a benefit of something, anything that we can do to make that feel even more worthwhile for you. But I know that you guys are doing that just to see Final Fantasy TV succeed, and it really means a lot. So thank you guys for being on the show tonight. I feel like you guys added a lot of really cool stuff to this conversation, and it's been awesome to just kind of share that hype with you. So with that being said, I'll start with Spartan. Thank you so much, Spartan.
Hey, I'm happy to be here.
And I'm happy to have you here. And Alex, I hope that this episode lived up to your hype. Did it live up to it?
I got more hype, so I'll just say that. So
That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about, Alex.
Yeah, I appreciate y'all having me on. I don't have anybody close to me I can talk too much about Final Fantasy, so it's really nice to be able to talk to somebody about Final Fantasy. So I really appreciate it.
Yes,
Awesome.
I mean that's the reason I started Final Fantasy TV. I just want to talk about Final Fantasy. Somebody's got to be here. So thank you. And now I have you guys and 91 of you talking Final Fantasy with me, and that's the beauty
96.
of 96.
From what I see.
That's the beauty of what's going on right now, y'all. We're connecting. We're getting hype. Ugh, part 3's on its way. Excalibro, thank you for being on the show.
My pleasure, brother. Thank you for having me.
Yes. Dragoon King, thank you for being on the show, man. And we'll see you guys next week for another Hypecast. And if you're a Patreon supporter, you guys don't miss it, because we are going to do our Fantasy Critic 2026 fantasy draft. We're like, basically you select video games, you put them on your team, and then it's just like fantasy football or whatever, but like the Metacritic score is like how you get points. So if it's anything above 70, I believe, you get points for everything above 70 on the Metacritic. And then, or OpenCritic, I think it is. And then if it's like 90 above, you get double the points for everything above 90. So anyways, that's really cool. If you want more on like how that works, watch Kinda Funny, because I freaking love Kinda Funny, and we're gonna do that here on for the supporters on Patreon. So don't miss that one. That's gonna be next week, as well as a Hypecast for everybody, a public Hypecast. So thank you so much. Woo! I think I got all of that done. We good? Let's close it out. Let's
He's
close
asking
it out.
about Discord. I don't know. Do you want to plug the Discord real quick?
We got a Discord? Misfits got the Discord? Sure, you know what?
Saying,
Let's bring them in. Let's bring them in. Okay, so I got to figure out how to invite them here. Let's do this. We'll go to
let's get someone in the Discord. Why not?
Discord. Invite everybody watching right now. If you guys want to join, my God, let's do it. Invite.
All right, let's go.
Let's freaking do it. I invited somebody.
You get a Discord.
You get a Discord. Everybody's getting Discord.
Get a Discord. Everybody, check under your seats.
Here we go.
There's a Discord invite link.
Sure hope I did this right. I invited somebody to join the Discord who was already in the Discord, so we'll see how that goes. Like, why did you do that, man? All right.
If they're not in the Discord, come join us. Come talk with us.
You can go now. Again, like I said, I'm trying to keep up with everything, but things are about to change. We got a big thing about to happen. The Dragoon King is going to be a man of the people. He's gonna be. We're talking. I can't wait to reveal everything that we come up with. We got a big meeting coming up on Thursday, like between us four, and we're gonna really, like, me, Lee,
Four
Wiley,
being Vinny, by the way,
and Vinny.
yeah. Shout out Fireraga.
Fireraga Fighter. We got a meeting coming up, and we're gonna like come up with the best way that we can provide you content for 2026, to bring the hype the best we can. We got the remake chapter by chapter analysis coming up in February to kick things off there. That's awesome. But Dragoon King is going to be taking over the Discord and making that look a lot better. So if you join the Discord and it looks like the most basic Discord you can, that's it. Okay.
I'm only looking to make it marginally less basic. Let's not set me up like I'm some, like, you know. Hey
man, you're making it look better at least. At least you're going to do something.
I'll tidy
with it.
it up.
Yeah, do something with it,
and try to interact and get more engagement with you guys. It'll be a lot of fun. I'm excited for these new developments.
Yeah, yeah. So there's that. We got a lot of stuff planned. Anyways, I'm going long in the tooth, as they say. I'm going too long here. This is a 1 hour 13 minutes now, so we're gonna close this thing out. Don't laugh.
Long in the tooth. That's not what long in the tooth means, but
that's not what it says,
brother. That's not what it means. I was gonna let it go, but you said don't laugh, so
yeah. Tell me what long in the tooth means.
Hey, it just means you're getting old, bro.
It's an age thing.
Yeah, dude, it just means you're getting old.
I said what I said, and I meant it then, because that is true.
He's long in the tooth already. You don't know what he's saying anymore.
I think I'm gonna start that going on. I'm gonna just say some sayings, and then I'm just not like, it's not gonna make any sense.
No context.
I'm just gonna say some things. That's gonna be a new bit. The new bit is I'm just gonna say new sayings. Not gonna make any sense.
That podcast was out of the frying pan. We're going into the fire.
Going into
Have a good night.
A penny saved is worth two in the bush.
Hey, you know, no lies were spoken. I am getting old. All right.
All right, let's get you to bed, Grandpa.
How the turntables have. All right, y'all. He's 41. He's never heard it. All right. There you go.
That's the outro. Actually, just cut there.
41. I've never heard of that.
Heard it.
All right, whatever, man. I heard it somewhere and I just wanted to say it. Anyways,
That's all right.
Well,
That's
you
it.
did. That was
that.
awesome.
It's yeah.
well,
It's called
everyone-
a malapropism. That's what that is.
a malapropism.
Malapropism. Yeah, it's when you mess up a pun or an idiom or something like that, and
Um,
people still know what you're trying to say, and it's funny for the wrong reason.
malapropism. That's a
Malapropism.
that's a big one.
This is
That's a
why
good,
Wiley
we're still
writes.
live. Everybody, thank you so
Yeah.
much. Take care
Hey.
now. Bye bye then. Go get
Good
long
night.
in the tooth. You know what I mean?
Go get long in the tooth.
Go get long in the tooth tonight. That's it. Take it down to Bone Village.
Bye.
Dude,